Good evening, one and all. This is Video Game Girl 64, also known as Lulu, and today I'm going to be reading Pokemon Creepy Black. This is like one of the early creepypastas that went really big, like when this whole shit started, and this was requested by Pussdot. Thank you for the wonderful request. So, without further ado, let's get this started. I'm what you call a collector of bootlegged Pokemon games. Pokemon Diamond, Jade, Chaos Black, etc. It's amazing the frequency with which you can find these at pawn shops, Goodwill, flea markets, and such. They're generally fun, even if they're unplayable, which they often are. The mistranslations and poor quality make them unintentionally humorous. I've been able to find most of the ones I've played online, but there's one that I haven't seen any mention of. I bought it at a flea market about 5 years ago. Here's a picture of the cartridge, in case anyone recognizes it. It shows a picture of a black original Game Boy with a black sticker with the Pokemon logo in gray. Unfortunately, when I moved 2 years ago, I lost the game, and when I came home from summer vacation, I think I left it at the hotel. The game started with the familiar Nidorino and Gengar intro of Pokemon Red and Blue version. However, the press start screen had been altered. Red was there, but the cycle did not cycle through. It said black version under the Pokemon logo. Upon selecting New Game, the game started the Professor Oak speech, and it quickly became evident that the game was essentially Pokemon Red version. After selecting your starter, if you look at your Pokemon, you have an addition to Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle, another Pokemon. Ghost. The Pokemon was at level 1. It had the sprite of the ghosts in Pokemon Tower before obtaining the Silph Scope. It had one attack. Curse. I know that there was a move named Curse, but that attack did not exist in Generation 1, so it appears it was hacked in. Defending Pokemon were unable to attack Ghost. It would only say they were too scared to move. When the move Curse was used in battle, the screen would cut to black. The cry of the defending Pokemon would be heard, but it was distorted, played at a much lower pitch than normal. The battle screen would then reappear and the defending Pokemon would be gone. If I used it in battle against a trainer, when the Pokeballs representing their Pokemon would appear in the corner, they would have one fewer Pokeball. The implication was that the Pokemon died. What's even stranger is that after defeating a trainer and seeing Red receive 200 currency for winning, the battle commands would appear again. If you select Run, the battle would end as it normally does. You could also select Curse. If you did, upon returning to the overworld, the trainer's sprite would be gone. After leaving and returning to the area, the spot where the trainer had been would be replaced with a tombstone like the ones at Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town. The move Curse was not usable in all instances. It would fail against Ghost Pokemon. It would also fail if it was used against trainers such as your rival or Giovanni. It was usable in your final battle against them, however. I figured this was the gimmick of the game, allowing you to use the previously uncaptured ghosts. And because Curse made the game so easy, I essentially used it throughout the whole adventure. The game changed quite a bit after defeating the Elite Four, though. After viewing the Hall of Fame, which consisted of ghosts and a couple of very underleveled Pokemon, the screen cut to black. A box appeared with the words, "Many years later." It then cut to Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town. An old man was standing, looking at tombstones. You then realize this man was your very character. The man had only half your normal walking speed. You no longer had any Pokemon with you, not even Ghost, who up to this point had been impossible to remove from your party through depositing in the PC. The overworld was entirely empty. There were no people at all. There were still tombstones of the trainer that you'd used Cursed on. However, only by walking around did I realize how many tombstones there were and how many trainers I'd cursed. You could pretty much go anywhere in the overworld at this point, though your movement was limited by the fact you had no Pokemon to use HMs. And regardless of where you went, the music of Lavender Town continued on an infinite loop. After wandering for a while, I found that if you go through Diglett's cave, one of the cuttable bushes that normally blocks the path on the other side is no longer there. This allows you to advance and return to Pallet Town. Upon entering your house, and going to the exact tile where you start the game, the screen would cut to black. Then a sprite of a Caterpie appeared. It was replaced by a Ponyta, and then a Pidgey. I soon realized, as the Pokemon progressed from Rattata to Blastoise, that these were all the Pokemon that I had used Curse on. After the end of my rival's Pokemon team, a youngster appeared, then a gambler, and then my rival. These, and so many more, were the trainers I had cursed. Throughout the sequence, the Lavender Town music was playing, but it was slowly decreasing in pitch. By the time your rival appeared on screen, it was little more than a demonic rumble. Another cut to black. A few moments later, the battle screen suddenly appeared. Your trainer was now that of an old man, the same as the one who teaches you how to catch a Pokemon in Viridian City. Ghost appeared on the other side, along with the words, "Ghost wants to fight." You couldn't use items, and you had no Pokemon. If you tried to run, you couldn't escape. The only option was fight. Using fight would immediately cause you to use struggle, which didn't affect Ghost, but it did chip off a bit of your own HP. When it was Ghost's turn to attack, it would simply say ellipsis. Eventually, when your HP reached a critical point, Ghost would finally use Curse. The screen cut to black for a final time. Regardless of the buttons you pressed, you were permanently stuck in this black screen. At this point, the only thing you could do was turn the Game Boy off. When you played again, New Game was the only option. The game had erased the save file. I played this hack many times, and every time the game ended with this sequence. Several times I didn't use Ghost at all, though he was impossible to remove from the party. In these cases, it did not show any Pokemon or trainers and simply cut to the cinematic battle with Ghost. I'm not sure what the motives were behind the creator of this hack. It wasn't widely distributed, so it was presumably not for monetary gain. It was very well done for a bootleg. It seemed he was trying to convey a message, though it seems I'm the sole receiver of this message. I'm not entirely sure what it was. Is it the inevitability of death? The pointlessness of it? Perhaps he was trying to inject death and darkness into a child's game. There is something overly protective about the Pokemon world. The Pokemon are weapons, but they are your friends. They fight to death, but they never die. They are always waiting for you at the Pokemon Center, healed and ready for another adventure. It's a bit like Nintendogs. The puppies never grow up, remaining small, playful, and innocent. You care for them, but they never deal with one thing that we all have to deal with: growing old. The curse of our morality. Maybe this hack is a joke to scare children, but do kids ever ask, can Pokemon die? They might after playing this. Maybe that was the point, to make the player think, what happens when Pokemon die? And perhaps that's the most scary thing of all, because that means the ghost's curse is true, and if we are cursed, what happens to us when we die? Remember I said that I lost the cartridge of this hack when I came home from summer vacation? That wasn't completely true. I didn't lie about not having the cartridge anymore, but I didn't lose it. I got rid of it, intentionally. I went back to the flea market and sold it cheap to the first stranger who came near. He thinks he got away with a bargain, but I didn't tell him. The day before I played this hack again, for the last time, I played as I usually did, and finished the game. The screen went black and the game froze, as it did before. I was about to turn my Game Boy off when the phone rang. I left the room. I talked on the phone for about 15 minutes. After hanging up, I heard something from my room. I came in and saw something on the Game Boy screen. I was excited. Maybe there was more to the hack than I realized. I picked up the Game Boy. There were 2 red lights on the screen. Suddenly, a message appeared under the lights. There were 4 words. It read, "Ghost curses you." That's 3 words! Okay, so that was Pokemon Creepy Black, and besides that little fuck up at the end, This is a story I do truly enjoy, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well. If you have any requests or recommendations for me to read, it'll probably take me forever to do it, but I promise I will get it out to you at some point. Just leave your requests in the comment section below. Thank you very much for listening. This has been Video Game Girl 64, also known as Lulu. I am over and out.